Well, to the war in the Middle East, overnight Israel ramped up precision airstrikes on northern parts of the Gaza Strip, warning a ground invasion of Gaza is inevitable unless Hamas surrenders unconditionally. Joining us now live from Jerusalem is Israeli journalist and author Ehud Yaari. Ehud, welcome to the program. What's the latest on the ground?
Well, I think that the Israelis are going to keep up the pressure from the air, sometimes with using precise artillery and ground-to-ground short-range missiles. But the feeling here amongst the military and in the government is that whatever you can achieve from the air saves lives when you come to sending the tanks in.
When might those tanks be sent in? I mean, we were first talking about ground invasion a week ago. Then, of course, you had last week Joe Biden visited, Rishi Sunak visited. I don't think you could have really done it while they were there. So it's been delayed a little longer than perhaps we expected. When might that ground invasion begin?
Absolutely no hurry. Absolutely no hurry. I think that if people are sitting with their stopwatch, waiting for the tanks to roll in, they are wrong. And let me explain why briefly. I think that the Israeli military is capable of reaching the center of Gaza, Palestine Square, as they call it, maybe in 5 hours. They are capable of doing that. Mm-hmm. And then they sit on top of a network of 200 kilometers of tunnels. We are not going to send our soldiers to fight inside the tunnels. We are going to use other ways. But that means that we are looking at a fairly long stay inside Gaza with constant skirmishes, etc. So as long as we have good intelligence for the Air Force to strike, let the Air Force do their job. They are doing it in a really impressive manner and save the lives of our soldiers and Gaza civilians.
Well, we had over the weekend a convoy of 17 aid trucks arrived in Gaza as, of course, the Hamas-run territory was facing catastrophic shortages. And then after that, Hamas released 2 American hostages, Judith and Natalie Raanan, on Friday night. There are still hundreds more hostages still in Gaza, though.
222.
So how intricate is this back and forth in terms of work? Because Israel's always put the price of the lives of its people at a very high price. In terms of locating and making sure they can get those hostages out before they stage any kind of ground invasion, how much of an intricate process is that?
We don't know that it can be done. We have negotiations going through the Qataris, who are in many ways the sponsors of Hamas for many years. We have negotiations going for the release of women, children, and the elderly. You know, they have abducted from the kibbutzim, from the villages around Gaza. The youngest one is a girl, 3 years old, who lost her parents. She's a hostage. The Qataris and some people in the political leadership of Hamas outside Gaza are advising the Gaza leadership that they should improve their public image by releasing civilians. And there are negotiations over this. At this point, Hamas Gaza insists that in return, there will be an extended ceasefire, and Israel will not accept it. So it's still going parallel to the fighting. You have these negotiations continuously going on.
Just very quickly, we've only got 20 seconds before the break, but your reaction to these demonstrations we saw around the world, including in Paris over the weekend, where they referred to massacres, etc.?
Well, we're accustomed to that. We have those segments in Western societies which are vehemently anti-Israeli, if not really anti-Semitic. And it doesn't matter what really happens underground. It doesn't matter what happened to Israeli civilians. All that it matters is that they don't want to see houses destroyed in Gaza after we have warned the population to leave, and most of them did.
Ehud Yaari, thank you so much for your time tonight.
You're welcome.